Well, Poland absolutely talks the talk and walks the walk in terms of support for Ukraine. They've taken in more than 3 million refugees, Poland has. They've also supplied Ukraine with weaponry, more than 200 tanks. And in terms of rhetoric, they're absolutely behind Ukraine's bids to join the European Union and NATO. And also Andrzej Duda had very uncompromising rhetoric towards Russia today. No talk of providing Vladimir Putin with an off-ramp or avoiding humiliation for the Russian president. No, he said there can absolutely be no return to business as usual with Russia after what happened in places like Bucha and Mariupol. And Andrzej Duda talks about Ukraine as well as being at the forefront of Europe's defense against Russia in terms of a defense of European values and democracy. And that's where the significance of Poland's support can perhaps come under question, because Poland, of course, is rather at odds with the European Union because of its own, in the European Commission's view, lack of respect for the core values of the European Union in terms of democracy. And the Polish government, of which Andrzej Duda is a figurehead, of course the Prime Minister actually in Poland has more power, is accused of an authoritarian drift. And that somewhat diminishes Poland's weight in Brussels and the amount of influence it has, because Poland's relations with its European partners are really not that great. Those problems have absolutely not gone away. But in Kyiv, those problems are not really things that people are talking about. Kyivans and Ukraine in general is simply very grateful to Poland's support.
And Gulliver, Russia has been bolstering its offensive in Ukraine's eastern Donbas region. What's the update on the fighting there?
Well, they're really concentrating most of their firepower on this attempt to take Severodonetsk, which is the largest still Ukrainian-controlled city in Luhansk region. It's still Ukrainian-controlled, but it's come under heavy bombardment. Most of the population have left, and a large part of the city has been very severely damaged. The latest news is that the Russians blew up a bridge crossing the Siversky Donets River, which separates Severodonetsk basically from the rest of the Ukrainian-held part of Donbas. So that could cause really severe difficulties for the Ukrainian forces who are in Severodonetsk now, both in terms of them getting supplies from elsewhere and eventually in terms of them getting out.
All right, Gulliver, thank you very much. Gulliver Cragg reporting from Kyiv.